The white people came and told us their own story of Jesus Christ, the mother, the father. They brought all the saints, teaching us about St. Barnabas, St. Peter's, St. Paul. Now, Africa, we have histories of our own deities who also saved and did similar things that Jesus did in the Bible.
Welcome to Breaking News Wahala, the news with today we have a special guest in the studio, Michael. We are here to talk about sexuality, faith, and religion. Michael is not new on Curious Talk. He has been here before a couple of times. But today's conversation is one that's very interesting because we are not just talking about Christianity, we are also talking about also African traditional religion. So stay tuned. Michael Light, thank you for joining us today. Please introduce yourself
You're
to us.
welcome.
So let's talk about
Okay.
sexuality. I've known you for a couple of wow. Let's say for how many years now? Maybe a year or 2 years. And I know you as a Christian. I knew you used to be like a Pentecostal, but now I see that you've moved from Pentecostalism to the Celestial Church of Christ. Let's talk about that move first. What made you move from Pentecostal to the Celestial Church of Christ?
Can we cut?
Yeah. What happened?
Okay. I didn't move from Pentecostal to Celestial Church. So you remember we were talking about the traditional part.
Okay.
So saying from Pentecostal, now moving from Pentecostal to Celestial Church is still under Christianity.
Yes, I'm from the Celestial Church. You then embodied the
No,
African.
no, that's the long journey. No, the thing is, now the main thing is, can you? It's still recording, yeah.
Yes, don't worry. I can cut out.
So the thing is, from Pentecostal, I started practicing tradition.
Okay, so from
Going
Pentecostal.
celestial church is going celestial church is something it's somewhere I just attend once in a while. It's not as if it's a thing.
So you just go to the
So the
Celestial.
main thing is the tradition. So it's moving from a Pentecostal, from a Christendom to traditional.
So what made you move from Pentecostalism, from Christianity to traditional? And we know that Christians and traditionals they don't mix. So what happened?
Okay, greetings, I'm Henry. So the thing is, being a Christian all my life, growing up from a Christian background, and it wasn't easy. Now, trying to bring in sexuality into this, okay? Bring in sexuality, Christianity, everything was just confusing. So I grew to a point, I was always told I had a call, I had a calling, I'm supposed to work for God. Parents were always coming and bringing all the churchy things. Now, I started as a minister in the church, working as a minister. It was fun though, but I didn't feel complete at all. I felt something was missing, but I couldn't lay hands on anything. So you understand, being a Christian was fun. It was interesting. It was a good experience, anyways. But I felt something was missing. Like in my puzzle deck, the puzzle was missing. So I couldn't picture what that was. Not until I started making findings and I started seeing myself in the dreams, or I started hearing some funny voices, which is different from the normal ones I hear as a Christian, as a prophet. I started making research, asking questions, and I found out that my family, in my family lineage, we are from a lineage of traditional priests and priestesses. Do you understand? And it has been disturbing because it caused issues in my family, for my mom, my dad, because they all refused. And as a result of their refusal, they pushed me into Christianity, telling me being a water child or practicing tradition is evil. Now, it caused a whole lot of issues. So, while moving up and down looking for solutions, we found out that we are from a traditional home and we are to maintain that lineage to continue what our forefathers had done, continue from where they stopped. So, Christianity To me, the way I understand and how it has been and how it is a religion that was brought into Africa, that was brought to Nigeria. Now, I'm an Igbo person. According to my ancestors, Christianity was brought to them. It was exchanged with funny things. They can bring a phone or they can get a mirror and tell you you can see yourself. And I'm trying to explain something here, yeah? Tell us, okay, Amadioha, for example, will tell you, give us this Amadioha, denounce Amadioha, and take the true living God, which is God Almighty, and his son, Jesus Christ. Now, they were not just saying this, they were exchanging the representation of our practice with objects like a mirror, phone, combs. Do you understand? And they use this to brainwash. They brainwashed. The thing is just brainwashing. Using things we know that we've not seen. Using a camera, they will snap and bring out a picture of you and give to you. And our forefathers haven't seen this before, so they use technology to take what we have. But there is something they forgot. There is something they forgot. Africa believes in representation of something. I could call this phone. There's a deity in this land. For example, there's a deity here, and I bring this phone and keep here. I'll be like, okay, this is a physical symbol of this deity. Do you understand? Africa believes in physical symbolism. Do you understand? Now, they took the sculptures thinking that they took the power. That is why in Igbo we call it ordinana. It's in the land, not in the object. The powers, the tradition is in the land, not in the object that was taken. You get? So the whole thing falls back to me moving from being a Christian to a traditionalist, because this is the ways of our ancestors. And I still find it very confusing when people bring in Christianity back to me. I'm seeing more light, and I'm seeing reasons to so many things now that I'm in tradition than when I was in church, because pastors will always lie. Even pastors they are not even sure of what they are preaching to you. A pastor will tell you that there is hell, that there is hell, there is hell. Now, how does the pastor know that there is hell?
Through
Do you
the
understand what I'm saying?
Bible and through, teachings of decades.
Okay. Now, through the Bible. Now, there's something I tell people: if you want to know Christianity, go to Rome. That is why in Catholic Church, before any Reverend Father is being ordained, they send them to Rome. Rome is where you see Rome and Jerusalem. These are places where you see the original scriptures. Now, at this point, you know that so many things were omitted in the Bible. So many truths were taken away. Now, the whites came with this knowledge. Okay, they're coming to put fear in blacks, telling us there is hell, that if we do this, we'll go to hell, to put fear in us. That God hates this in order to put fear in us. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I feel this whole thing of hell, I know there is a creator that lives above. Do you understand? I don't dispute that fact. Because in Igbo, we call him Chukwu Okike. Chukwu Binenu. But the hell of a thing is something I'm still yet to believe, because the creator cannot push his children into hell no matter what. Do you understand? So even the pastors are still confused. They don't know. They're just preaching because they read it in the Bible. Who wrote the Bible? In the Bible, they said it was inspired men of God. Men wrote it, which means men can still rewrite. I can come out tomorrow and make my own Bible. I'll omit some things, put the things I feel to my own taste. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes,
for
yes.
example, where they bring in sexuality, they'll tell you that homosexualism is evil, is this, is this, is that. Now, this to the me understanding all this is, for example, I'm being homophobic. I don't like this act, and I'm opportune to write the scripture, a book, a book that everyone in the world can have access to. Now, because I dislike this, I want to make every one of them dislike this as well. Not considering those who are this way. So I think this whole thing is about personal dislike and pushing Africa to the dust. Thank you.
So now let's talk more about the deity. You said, you started hearing voices and you knew you came from a family of deity. What deity do you now communicate with? Do you now worship or do you now interact with?
Okay, thank you so much, Henry. Now the thing is, I tell people this: both traditional practitioners and every other practitioner will worship just one God. Do you understand? We worship just one God, which is the Creator. Now, does this coming? I'll come back to your question, okay? But let me just say this: Jesus Christ, Mami Water, huh? Amadioha, Shongo, Yemoja, Oshun, and all these deities, they are all intermediary. Do you understand me now?
Mhm.
Now, it was been said in the Bible, yeah, that Jesus said that you cannot get to the Father unless you pass through me. Now, what does that make him? A passage, a channel, an intermediary between man and God. The same way it's believed that our ancestors could not communicate to God himself unless they go through Amadioha or the deity in their clan. Do you understand me now? In the old days, it said that we can't talk to God himself. He's too big a God for mere human to talk to. That is why he has put these gods in charge. Do you understand me now? The white people came and told us their own story of Jesus Christ, the mother, the father. They brought all the saints, teaching us about St. Barnabas, St. Peter's, St. Paul. Now, Africa, we have histories of our own deities who also saved and did similar things that Jesus did in the Bible.
Like turning water to wine.
Oh, come on. Turning water to wine. So many deities in my father's land did mysterious things than that, more miraculous things than that. Now, I come from a place called Umuchu. It has been recorded that during the time of slavery, that the children of Uchu were held captive. Now, the river itself ascended into the air, went to that place, broke open the prison, and carried his children back, her children rather, back to the land. Is it Idemili, my mom's place? During the time of war, big ancient pythons came out to defend. So there's so many things that happened, so many great miracles that even the ones I'm not mentioning that happened. Now the thing is, Africans and Black Nigerians should learn about their culture and put theirs outside. The white people were able to put the miracles of their God outside. And they used it because they feel they are still scared of the Blacks. They are scared of Africa. You understand now? So now, in my own, come back to your question. I am a water child. When you come to tradition, we have different departments. We have different elements. There are people who belong to the water element, the air element, the earth element, and the fire element. And every single person on earth belongs to one of these elements. Now, the white people brought out things like using zodiac signs. You be like, I'm Scorpio, I'm Aries. Now, that is good, fine. But you don't use that to define if you are a water child or if you're from the fire element. No. Do you understand me now? I'm using Igbo for example now because I'm Igbo, yeah? We have what we call the 4 market days. The 4 market days in Igbo land represent the 4 elements that guides nature, that guides the universe, which is the fire, the water, the air, and the earth.
And how do you see them in Igbo?
Eke, which represent the fire element. Ori, which represent the water element, Afo, which represent the earth element, and Nkwo, which represent the air element. Now, there is a story. There is a story about these four elements. Now, one thing in Igbo, we have our forefathers who tell us stories of how these markets days came into existence, like came into Igbo land. Do you understand? Now, it was being said that these were four strangers traveling, okay, and they stopped by in a village in the old days in the land of Uri. Now, a king welcomed them, and they pretended they were dumb. They don't talk. Do you understand? Not until in the night, I'm trying to brief the story, and they started making arguments. The fourth son said, "Hey, can stop doing this thing you're doing, it's a story here, but they were trying to use it to teach the younger ones about the four elements. So it probably was not real, but using it to teach the younger ones about the four elements that guides nature. So in Igbo land, we have four basic market days, and each market day, in Igbo, we count the week with 4 market days, not 7. They say now you'd be like 7 days make a week.
But it's
So in
actually
Igbo land, 4 days,
make a
4
week.
days makes a week. That's why you hear them tell you in the next 8 market days, they use market days. Do you understand? So now
So
I am a water child.
Sorry, in the 8 market days means in the next 2 weeks. Since 4 days make a week, right? So in the next
No. Listen, we count hours with 4 market days.
Yeah.
So let's assume Monday is Eke, Tuesday is Ori, Wednesday is Afo, Thursday is Nkwo. This is 1 week, 4 days. Now, if they tell you that in next 8 market days, that means in next 8 days. Now, if they tell you that word today being Eke is going to be on the next Nkwo. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They tell you in next 4 market days, meaning if they tell you on Eke to be on the next Eke. So this is how we do counting. Even today, we practicing tradition now. We calculate everything, our week with the 4 market days. There are days you have to do some certain prayer. There are days you have to keep holy. There are days we control everything with the 4 market days. Okay. Thank you.
Just a brief. Thank you so much, Michael Light, for this education or this information rather. There are certain things you made mention, which is the sojourners that were going and they began to have misunderstanding. That's how the whole, thing, AK, Uri, AK, and what's the other one you mentioned? Sorry, AK and the rest
It's
of them.
Eke, Ori,
AK,
Afo.
Afro and Encore happened. I just
Yeah.
want to, there are some misconceptions that people have about traditionalists, in the sense that most Christians will say Jesus has died for us. You don't need any other sacrifice. Our sacrifices a mediator in which you talk to your God. I know you said we all worship one God, but Christians will not agree, and even Islam will not agree that they worship the same God with you. On that fact, I want to ask this question. Do you practice any rituals, or like you said you keep some days holy, right? Well, what are the measures you do to keep those days holy? What are the rituals you do put in place?
Okay. When it comes to sacrifices, yes, we offer sacrifices. Now, even the Bible made record of sacrifices. You get. Now, one thing about tradition is just like the Old Testament in the Bible. Do you understand me now? In the Old Testament, it was being said that I'm trying to use the Bible to balance this, okay? It was being said that and the children of God offered burnt offerings as a sacrifice to God. Do you get? There was an altar. There were offerings, sacrifice, offering to God. Do you understand me now? Now, in our place, or in tradition rather, we offer sacrifices because sacrifice is the only thing. I'm going to give an instance in the Bible to balance this. Sacrifice is the only thing that paves way Do you understand? Sacrifice is the only thing that paves way. In Igbo, there's something they say. "Na ana achụ aja, ikpe ana ama ndị mmụọ." When you offer sacrifices, that judgment will be left to the spirits. Do you understand? Sacrifice is what makes you higher than the next person. Now, there are different kinds of sacrifice. Now, there's sacrifice of offerings. There's sacrifice of worship. Okay? Now, there's sacrifice of prayer. Do you understand?
Mhm.
And there's a sacrifice of time. These are all sacrifices. Now, in tradition, all those sacrifices are being worked on. Do you understand me now? So we are always, anytime we are to visit a spirit, anytime we are to visit a deity, we get offerings. Do you understand me now? Just the way Christians will go to church, they come for bazaar, for Thanksgiving. Everybody's carrying, there's a cow, there are fruits, there are things. Who are you giving it to?
God.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's been said that you're giving it to God, yeah?
Mhm.
The same way we offer these sacrifices. But nowadays people feel that once you practice tradition, that you kill people, you're to use human blood, human this, human that. That is a lie. That is not tradition. One thing I want people that are going to view this to understand is that in everything there is good and evil. Even in the church, there is good and evil. In tradition, there are good ones and the bad practitioners. So we offer sacrifices a lot. It could be sacrifice of fruits. Do you understand? It will sacrifice of fruit. So that is one thing about sacrifice. Sacrifice is being needed generally to pave way for a man. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael Light. It has been an amazing episode with you. Before we just wrap it up for
WhatsApp through my social media handles.
yeah, cut them out.
So on TikTok, people can watch most of my videos on TikTok. On TikTok, my name is the confessor underscore the THA confessor with underscore. Okay, they're going to see a name called Amomamiri. Amomamiri. But the main handle is the confessor underscore. There they can follow me, to send me a direct message. I will follow them back and we'll discuss more about tradition. They can inbox for personal consultations to know more about themselves, where they're from, their elements, and their history. Thank you.
And if they wanted to reach your business WhatsApp, what's your business WhatsApp number?
My number is 081 plus 234 8187056755.
Thank you, viewers. As you can hear from Michael, if you want to get in touch with your spiritual side and know your root, you want to know your African root, you could reach out to him. He does personal consultation. If you also want to know yourself and your element, your ancestry, reach out to Minister Light. It has been an interesting episode with you, I don't know why I still call you Minister Light, but I still know you as Minister Light. It has been an interesting topic with Michael Light, and I enjoyed the whole conversation. Thank you, Michael. And again, I remain Chimereze Henry Ahonaya, and this has been Breaking News Wahala on Kiru Talk. Stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed before you go, please subscribe. Subscribe and show love to one person. Please, 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 please show love to one person. Everybody deserves love.